All right, good evening. Welcome to the Board of Health meeting. It is 6:01 on Monday, August 11th. I'd like to call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is review, add or remove any items. So we have a set of minutes that you'd like to remove.
Yes, I'd like to keep the February and the March minutes and remove the July ones. We'll put those on for next
Any
meeting.
opposed? No? Okay, that's fine. Okay, we have a bill schedule.
Yes, we do.
All right. So we have the MIHA, that must be memberships.
No,
No?
that's actually a class for
class?
Eileen.
Oh, the Mass Fit food. Okay, excellent. And the other one is Cheryl. Take a look at those, pass them down to Steve. Oh, sure, do we have one?
Oh, we have a
Oh, do we have a
sheet?
sign-in sheet?
Yeah.
Would you like to sign in, please? Thank you. Okay. And, let's see what we've got. Mary, while Steve's looking at that, we have two sets of minutes underneath your folder. One is just yourself and me, that's the February one.
Yeah.
So if you want to just take a quick overview and see if there's anything that was missed.
I saw California on the address and it was like,
That's the...
forget, no. Newton, that's fine.
No,
I'm going to hiatus in
California Street,
October.
yeah. I'll make a motion to accept the bill schedule.
Okay, do we have a second on the motion to accept the bill schedule?
Yeah.
So we have a motion and a second, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye, 3-0 to accept the bill schedule as written. Okay, we're going to take the minutes one at a time because the first set of minutes for February 3rd, 2014, Marion and myself were the two in attendance.
2/3/14.
Yes. So Marion, on the February 3rd, 2014, do you have a motion to
To
accept
accept the
them?
minutes and make that motion.
I second the motion. Steve, you pass it on to Paul, please. All right, so how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so the Board of Health meeting minutes of February 3rd, 2014 have been accepted. And the next one, this is all three of us were here. Any questions or concerns regarding the minutes? This is for March 24th, 2014.
I don't believe
No.
Marion is here
No,
on 324.
Oh, no, you're right. I'm looking at...
I'm looking at my head.
Okay.
You know, it's just me and Steve.
Oh, poor me.
Darlene, Eileen, and Paula.
Yeah.
A motion to accept.
I second the motion. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. 2-0 to accept the meeting minutes for 3/24/2014. Okay.
Thanks so
That's
much.
General business. Okay, so what we're going to do here is our first hearing will be at 6:15, so we have 10 minutes to knock off some agenda items. And Darlene, I'm going to give you free reign. Start with the agenda items and just run with them.
Okay, great.
Go with it.
All right, so we're gonna do emergency preparedness. Let me just get to the right papers here. So we've done, we kind of have a lot to update you on emergency preparedness. One thing I don't want to forget is to have you sign this. It's that time of year again when the region does their annual nominations. So at that time, we also update the letters for who is going to represent the town at the Region 2 meetings. So we have last year's, there we go. We have last year's letter that Ray signed, and then again, we just duplicated it for this year. So we actually have, oh, she didn't change those. I just saw a mistake on here.
Okay.
But I just wanted your, if you guys officially vote that I represent at the meetings, just like a renewal, then we can prepare a letter and get that off the signature. That was your letter from
Yep.
last year, Ray?
Mhm.
I just noticed a typo in this one from Paula, so
Okay.
we'll change that. As long as the board can vote that, that would be fabulous.
Okay. So these are Region 2 meetings, so we just need a motion to either accept or deny Darlene as our representative for the town. Do I have a motion?
I have a second. I make that
Yeah.
motion that we accept her.
This just says that was just last year's letter.
Yeah.
We have monthly meetings that they have, their regional meetings. That gives us an opportunity to get all of the regional emergency preparedness updates, all of the items that I bring you on a regular basis. This is just basically the formal approval from the board that I represent you.
You made the motion to
Mary made the
appoint her?
motion.
Yeah, I did.
And I'll second.
Okay.
Okay. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0 to appoint Ms. Darlene Coyle as our representative to Region 2.
Thank you so much. All right, so we have also meeting schedule changes. Typically that monthly meeting meets on I think it's a third Thursday of the month. They are going to switch it up and meet, I believe it's the first Wednesday now. So I will keep you abreast of the meetings, and just as the routine updates come, we always have a place on the agenda for this. The MHOA annual conference is coming up in October. Typically, this is the yearly meeting where we get a lot of really good information as far as public health is concerned. They kind of cover all the disciplines, and pretty much everybody's able to get some continuing educational credits. We get the updates from the state Mass Department of Public Health on community sanitation, communicable disease, food, swimming pools, you name it. So that's going to be the third week in October. I believe it's October 22nd,
22nd, 23rd, 24th.
Yeah. So that is going to be happening. If there's any interest from the board of anybody wanting to attend that conference, you can let me know. They're taking pretty much anybody who's interested right now to be able to respond back, but that would be something that I need to know in the very near future.
Is that a 2-day conference or a 1-day conference?
It's actually, it's like 2.5 days. It's all of Wednesday, all of Thursday, and then they have usually a couple things in the morning on Friday.
Yeah, I've gone to they've had a hoarding one on
Yeah.
Friday. They had another one, iPads, and
Yeah.
another one.
Yep. So they usually do like a maybe half a morning.
Do you have the agenda for that yet?
They haven't pulled
There
it out.
is a sample agenda. I
Okay.
can share that with you. I can
Just
send it out.
kind of to be curious as to what they're offering this year.
Sure. Yep. I will.
I know I'd never be able to do all 3 or 2.5 days, but
Yeah, you can go. They allow one day.
yeah,
They
if
do.
there's specific
yeah.
topics, that would be,
I'm already going. I'm being
Alright.
sent from work.
Now, where is
so.
it?
It's
Hyannis.
Hyannis,
Well,
Cape
sure.
Cod.
My favorite place.
Okay.
It's Hyannis this year.
Okay, so I will send that out to you and just let you know when that is. If you have any interest, I would ask that you respond back and just
Sure.
let me
Okay.
know at least yay or nay.
Let us know.
Yep.
Yeah, the prices dramatically drop the earlier you get into it.
Sure.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. And then for preparedness awareness, I didn't realize how it almost rhymes there. We have a new consultant, emergency preparedness consultant. I think in the past you may have heard me mention Sarah. Sarah had been our consultant. Our regions got kind of moved around a little bit, and we have a consultant that I just started meeting with, Ken Geekus, and we've already started reviewing some of the plans and looking for ways to kind of try to improve upon our documents. He has already obtained some information from the town clerk for individuals requiring assistance, kind of our special populations, whether that be elderly or handicapped, people in need of more specialized assistance during an emergency. So he's already started on that. I will be meeting with him regularly. We already have another meeting scheduled in 2 weeks. So I just wanted to let you know that as well. So kind of a lot happening with emergency preparedness. We also have some changes at the state level for typically we were meeting as health boards, and now there's a move to join both health and medical coalitions, so that in an emergency we would essentially probably be working with hospitals and medical personnel to be able to get people what they need. So there's kind of a shift to kind of meld those two areas. So those changes I think will come down the line, and I'll give you more information as they come. Solid waste, there is I wanted to make you aware that the Auburn Transfer Station, also known as Casella Waste, has put in a submittal for, actually this Wednesday, they're going to be on the Auburn Conservation Commission meeting, and they have put in a request for determination of applicability. This is they have at the site, they have a detention pond that collects all the stormwater. They're having some problems with the functioning of the detention pond. I actually have gone up there with the engineering department, and their detention pond is not functioning the way it should be. So they have an engineering firm, Walsh Engineering, that they are working with, and they have prepared a packet. They're going before conservation because obviously they're very close to the pond. And I just wanted to let you know that it is in process. It's something that we want their stormwater handled properly, especially for a site that big. The actual facility itself has a huge roof, so there's a lot of runoff that comes from the roof. Huge parking lot, not a lot of green areas, and anything that's going into that lower area, into the pond, detention pond, I should say. We want to be treated properly before it actually exits into the adjacent pond.
The roof drains also go into that pond?
They do. So there's, my understanding in speaking with the engineer, Mr. Walsh, was that they do have some sort of like a metal roof. So they had some hits of high iron and so forth, some of the metals, as you would imagine. So I just wanted to kind of keep you abreast of the situation. They have been very cooperative, and this is just protocol for them to go through the process. I am planning on attending the conservation meeting that's going to be happening this week. You're more than welcome to join. It's Wednesday evening. So that is for Casella Waste. For tobacco, update on regulation discussion. A couple months ago, we had Karen Clark from the Worcester Regional Tobacco Coalition came and gave us some great information on what's happening, in the tobacco world. It's changing. It changes almost every day. We got a call, I think it was last week, on some new products and whether or not those were allowed to be sold. It's almost like a form of marijuana. So there's new things coming out almost daily. So I've connected with WRTCC and keep information going. But it just kind of reminded me, if the board wants me to take any action on regulation discussion. I know we kind of talked about maybe looking at it in the fall, but I just wanted to bring it up. If you think that you want to move in that direction, or you think that we're doing okay right now. I mean, I do think Andy had spent a lot of time on the tobacco regs, and our regs are kind of ahead of a lot of towns. So I don't think we're in by any means behind the 8 ball, but it's because the kids are smoking or, you know, taking tobacco and nicotine in all different forms now, whether that be, you know, products that you rub on or lotions or ingest. It's kind of a rapidly changing world. So just wanted to at least bring it up and let me know if you want me to take that direction. Animals, I wanted to let you know we have had several calls and correspondence about rabid animals and questions about those. Just today, we did have a specimen that's being prepared to be sent. We'll be sending that out tomorrow. So we've had several calls for bats, bites, and that's keeping us definitely busy on the animal front. So the animal control officer has been extremely busy taking care of those calls and questions about quarantine. So just to let you know, we do have quite a bit going on for that. Do you want me to keep going, Ed?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can just get through this section.
Sure. The Mass Department of Public Health arbovirus, I just wanted to let you know, the Central Mass Mosquito Control, their educational information, they're very, very good about sending public notifications. They send them to our office and also through the town clerk's office. I've worked very closely with Ellen, the town clerk, to be able to make sure that what we're getting in the office we can find easily on the website. We had a couple of calls a few weeks ago, and it was a good exercise for me to see where they were going, so it gave us a chance to update some of the documents that were a little bit outdated. So we got the newer documents on there. We were able to help some people find the information a little bit easier, and in the next couple of weeks what I'm hoping to do is to also have a link through our website to be able to get that information as well. So you'll be able to click on a couple different areas on the website to be able to get the same information. So, you know, people navigate, they might go right to the health website, or if they go to the, you know, the town clerk or main page. We also get weekly arbovirus reports from the state, and those continue to come as well. The Abandoned Housing Initiative, I wanted to inform you that we are working with the Attorney General's office continuously on several properties. We have several right now that we're working with the AG to be able to kind of move forward. We have some vacant properties that we get complaints on continuously, where the grass is high or the properties are unsecured. We have, you know, some more serious situations where we need their help to take more immediate action. They've been really helpful with us in getting a lot of properties brought into compliance. We've had, over the past year, as you know, we've had some that were demolished. We've had a couple where we've had unsafe structures actually brought to the ground. So I just wanted to let you know we do have an active program going on that. The prescription take-back program, update on disposal. Today is Monday. On Thursday, we did a disposal of the unit. The coordination with Auburn Police and Wheelabrator, we were able to take, it was about 75 quarts of medication. So we have inside the unit, we had that 50 quart container, you know, the Rubbermaid container. When we went on Thursday, it was overflowing. So
It's working.
Yeah, the
working.
program has definitely taken off and it's definitely being used. I just wanted to bring to your attention how successful it is going. So we were able to get that, that's our, I think our second disposal this year, but considerably more from when we started, you know, the beginning of the year. So I will
great.
Increase the frequency on checking it,
Yep.
you know, so I think, you know, we're going to check it monthly to bi-monthly, so that we keep up with it. But Wheelabrator has
great.
been wonderful about having us come over, and the police have been really great about coordinating with us. So we have a lot going on with that. But 75 quarts is really what we were able to get rid of. Composting bins, I just wanted to give you an update. Last meeting I told you it was going very well. We're down to 2 large bins. We still have about 10 or so of the small bins, but we are going to be placing another order of the large black compost bins this week. Paula has already gotten the paperwork together to be able to kind of prepare that order. So we're going to be putting another order together for that, and I'll keep you updated on that. But fall is going to be a good time to kind of continue the program because that's when people have a lot of leaves, and you know, we can kind of increase the awareness for that. So that is that's going well.
Excellent.
Is there any kind of ad on the public access of that?
We do have it on the
Okay.
yeah. So
Good.
we have sent it, and they actually it's kind of cool. We have on the cable access channel. There's like a little. It's like a small little video,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows you how to do the whole composting program.
Yeah.
I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 12 minutes, 10 or 12
Is
minutes.
this something the manufacturer sent?
No, this was actually something, I contacted DEP to be able to see if they had some educational videos that we could put on
Okay.
the cable access, and ironically it was Connecticut. So Connecticut's version of DEP that did this really nice video. So it goes from step to step, what you should put in it, what shouldn't be put in it, and you know, making sure that you keep it wet, you know, add moisture so it continually breaks down. So there's a really nice video that that our folks have put on there.
Excellent.
So check it out, and I just saw their schedule. They actually put it in on a regular basis, so it's kind of nice.
I don't get cable, so.
Okay, it is now 6:23. I'd like to open the first hearing we have for 47 Berlin Street. Is there anybody here for that?
Yes.
All right, can you step up to the table and introduce yourself, please?
Kevin,
Hey, how you
how
doing?
are you? Hi, Kevin.
Hey,
Well, I guess you're Kevin.
I'm gonna give you that. My name's Kevin Maher. I reside at 4 Stonebridge
Okay.
in Auburn. I'm here tonight in my capacity as from Emerson Homes, Emerson Realtors. I'm one of the partners. What I want to give you is a little update here. I attached the materials I forwarded. The original well application was done incorrectly. I submitted one today just to do it properly.
There's several of them there, one for each of
Several
you.
copies?
Yeah, one for everybody.
There's one for each of you.
I actually have the original too.
You got that one right there, okay. Anyone?
That you need a new one? Or no?
Basically, I'm here to discuss two, I believe I need two variances to help out the current property owner. My firm represents them in the sale of the property, and by that we inherited the problems they have. To bring resolution, a little bit of background.
You can come in here.
A little bit of background. They had the property on the market for about 4 or 5 months. They were trying to sell it themselves. Then they hired our firm to handle it. The unfortunate problem with this property is it's on a shared well. And it's virtually pretty close to impossible to sell a house with a shared well. The reason is banks won't finance it. So typically you're talking a cash buyer. And this type of house, this price range, that's about 1 to 2% of the market. So what we did, I made arrangements with various subcontractors, the well company, excavation people, step I have to remove, and a couple other items. They would wait till closing to be paid.
Okay.
because the homeowners do not have the money. The homeowners are very honorable people. They don't reside at the house anymore. And when this is all said and done after the well and all the work, they're getting no money out of the house. They could very easily just say, take it back, bank. We don't want it anymore, just dump the property. And they're not that type of people. They own another home now, so they're all set in that regard. So it wouldn't hurt them in that way, but they could do that. Regarding the technical aspects of this, as I indicated in my communication to the board, I talked to Mark LaFrad, who is an RLS, the surveyor who did this print, and I asked him what his threshold requirements would be to determine a location of any septic systems on abutting parcels, whether they were active or not. His determination, and his email is attached in the kit, was it needs to be exposed. He needs a landmark, he needs to see it. I talked to Ken Hodgson, who's the a PE, and I asked him the same question. He was at that same meeting with Mark. He said the other alternative, we might be able to get some ground penetrating radar in there and look for it, but again, that's not very precise. They use it for other purposes. In terms of due diligence to find out what we know about that property and the abutting properties, first step was the Auburn Sewer Department. I've attached the Sewer Department reports here. The two abutting properties were connected into the sewer line in 1980 and 1979. The subject property, 47, was connected in 1979. The Sewer Department records, as you'll note on page 1 of the appendix, I believe it is, as you'll note in the Sewer Department record for 47 Berlin, the right-hand corner bottom, it shows that the system was abandoned. We also did a site investigation because the well truck would not go in there unless we determined that, because he was afraid of having some troubles with his rig. So I can determine that the subject property was abandoned. 43, which is the next one, and I went to the Sewer Department twice and I asked them to reproduce these records. There's nothing additional they can get out of the public records, like down the bottom where it was cut off. Because where it says abandonment in the first one, it's cut off from that one. And on 51 Berlin Street, it may have been abandoned because there is a date, right, of 1/2/80 on that property. My second step in due diligence was to go to the town hall, inquire the Board of Health if they had any records. And they don't have records for that time period for this type of stuff. The third step was I communicated with both homeowners in writing, sent certified mail. I asked generally 3 questions. Do you have any information? Do you have any plans? And can we access your property to go and find if there is any active or inactive cesspools or septics? 43 Berlin did not respond, the communication came back. That house is, as you will note in the file, is under a complaint of foreclosure. The people I have never seen there. My understanding is, from what people told me in the neighborhood, they don't reside there. So that's in the process of going from owned, foreclosed, to being abandoned. I did get a written communication back from 51 Berlin Street, where they indicated they didn't have any information and they would not authorize access to their property. The problem with both of those properties, even if we had a cooperative homeowner over in 43, is I believe 51 was bought in 1991, years after the sewer was connected. The same with 43 Berlin, the actual ownership deeds are in there. And people, when they buy a house today, don't sit there and say, can I have a copy of your termination report on your septic system when the people hooked up the well, hooked up the sewer. So there's absolutely no way that I can fulfill the requirement of determining if there are active cesspools on those properties I'll give you a good educated guess. They're not. They're connected to the public sewer. But I can't guarantee that. And the bylaw says I have to show on a plan any information I have, so I really don't know what's there.
Okay. The sewer department doesn't have bills for these people?
Oh, they're connected to sewer.
They're connected, but you just don't know if the other one's been abandoned yet, or...
Yeah.
They're connected too. They're
Yeah.
both connected.
Okay.
I didn't ask for bills. They're both connected because
Okay.
the records, you have the records here that they are connected as
Yeah.
well as 47. Actual sewer bills I don't have.
Okay. No, just so you said, you know, without being on the property and doing the due diligence, you couldn't find all the information you needed.
To show what's there, I have to dig.
What's the, yeah, exactly.
And that's what we dig in the backyard. There's some pictures attached to my report. You'll see what we dug. Because the well company wouldn't go in there because they're afraid his truck would
Go to a truck. Yeah.
slip. So that's my first variance that I'm requesting. I have another one, but I'll answer any questions on this one if you want.
Darlene, what do you have for us on this?
So, Kevin had contacted me a few weeks ago because of this situation, and I actually met him out at the property. The property, as he's explaining, does have the shared well with the vacant property that he's referring to for 43, which is the property right next door. Obviously, with it being a foreclosed property, there comes challenges with that of him being able to get information. However, he was, you know, there's an understanding that both the properties on either side of this property at 47 Berlin, both have been connected. Because it is a requirement, protocol to have, anytime a new well is being drilled, we want some sort of confirmation from a professional that states that this new well going in isn't going to have any existing septic systems within 100 feet of that well. And the purpose of that, obviously, is to protect the water supply. Kevin definitely has, I think, gone through as much as he can that's available for paperwork through town records and through the sewer department to be able to ascertain whether or not there are any existing septic systems. I understand the concern of his professionals putting a statement on the plan if they can't verify that. Obviously, with one property, there was no response, and with the other property, they're saying no, they don't want anybody going on their property. So essentially, you would be going into a professional. Typically, would go into the property, be able to go downstairs, see where the pipes are going, and if there's any, say there's an old dry well, so maybe there was a laundry or a sink that was never connected. That obviously can't happen because he's done the paperwork trail to try to make that happen. So, you know, reasonably, can we say that these properties, we have proof that both of these properties have been connected to the public sewer system? What's supposed to happen? And again, we can't go back in time and we can't say, okay, did they actually put all of the piping and all the plumbing? Is it all connected and going out the right place? I mean, essentially, that is what should happen.
Yep.
But he's stating that can't be verified. So anytime a new well comes into play, that's what we're looking for. Is it reasonable to assume that because the properties are connected, it should be that you wouldn't want, as a homeowner, you wouldn't want to still have things, effluent going out that's not going to the public sewer system. You're inviting problems with your own water supply. So you got to remember, we're looking for a proposed well for this property. the people on either side and on the street, because there's no public water, they would have their own wells as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, I do concur that, you know, the due diligence has gone through. Because this is a brand-new well, and we have the well regulation in place, it's a brand-new well. If he can't meet the requirements set forth in the regulation that you've approved, then he has to come before the board to be able to,
Get it
right, to do a variance request. Now, you could look at it and say, you know, do I reasonably think that this public water, this private water supply would be a better situation than what they have currently? I can tell you, I was at the property today, again, just to give you the most current information, and the shared well is a, it's serves both 47 and 43. It's not, I wouldn't call it a safe situation. It's has kind of a deteriorated cover over it. Somebody, what's that?
Is it in the pit?
It's down below, yes. So it's below ground, below grade. It has probably the original wooden cover that's kind of all falling apart. Somebody has taken steps to make it safe and put some 2x4s or you know, some wooden material so that somebody doesn't, you know, kind of fall in there. So I think the situation would be improved by putting in a new well. I think there's a couple of things that I would suggest to the board is, you know, making the existing cover over the shared well, because you have to remember it's still going to serve 43 Berlin, just making that a safer situation. And if you can't meet the 100-foot setback for the new well, maybe the board considers, you know, some periodic well testing to, you know, to see if there's any impact of a new well going in. If you can't, for certain, say there's no septic system, no existing septic systems within 100 feet of that well, you could pick that up realistically on well testing.
Okay, so the first variance that you're requesting is because you can't find whether or not the other two have been abandoned, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that's what we have in front of us right now. So we don't know if there is a 100-foot offset because we don't know if they're still there or not, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, just want to make sure we're on that point first. So I
I
just
don't know
need...
any other way to verify
Yeah, I
that,
know,
you
no, I understand totally. Any more discussion?
Are both abutters also the same general lot size?
Yes, they are. They're
Okay.
generally about the same lot size. I can't give you the exact, but it's a very long depth.
And there's no way of getting in from the south of the property?
No, it's, the four boundaries are controlled by them, obviously. No. They wouldn't grant me access. I actually think, and I don't know this, but, you know, if you look at one of the pictures there, the house pretty much lines up with this one, and there's been a huge deck added. And you have the public record there that'll show you, give you some idea what the built-out area is. The property at 43 is nothing but paved up back. So,
And board members have any other questions? For either Darlene or Kevin?
I think Kevin, oh, I'm sorry, Steve.
No, we've been down this road before in these small lots with limited access.
Yeah.
I mean, even if there were existing septic systems, the house needs a well.
Yeah, because there is no
So,
public water, so.
Right.
Right. And
actually, if you tested it, if the cute thing for me would have been to come in here and say, can we test this? Because I got a feeling this well would fail, the abutting well.
Yeah.
you're talking the shared well.
Yeah.
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 So, I mean, the fact that the shared well is serving two properties and the condition that I saw of what the shared, and again, I wasn't going to disturb or touch it, just observing it, it's not a situation that I would recommend continuing. I'd want to at least, make that shared well cover safe, and it's going to be an improved situation getting their own well, even if you do consider the well variances.
Quick question for you, Kevin. The decommissioned septic tank on the property,
Yes.
when was that one decommissioned, do you know?
About 34 years ago.
Okay, so it's been, okay. All right,
There's actually a date, that's the only one I could find a record
Yeah.
on,
okay.
unfortunately. But I think it was about 1979. Just so you know, we excavated over there, and we verified that.
Okay.
And it wasn't for the reason of verifying that, just where the location was for a well truck that came in. And the guy who did the excavation was knowledgeable on those, said, yeah, I think it was decommissioned.
Okay. So just with the location of the new well being just
That's
feet
a
away.
separate issue.
No, I
That's
know,
an
it's a separate
interest-
issue,
that's,
but,
Yeah.
so right now, we're looking at the variance on the 100-foot.
The off-site issue.
Offset.
And I think the area that you were referring to, Kevin, obviously you were checking to see if there's any
Breakdown.
areas, well, any areas that, holes in the ground that
Okay.
were left. Obviously,
Mhm.
you didn't find any.
No, nothing actually. And the reason we did it, there's another reason, is the access to the well truck. And everybody said, why don't you just bring it up the side of the house? If you drive by it, you can see some of the pictures there. It slopes. It'd be about a $18,000 driveway you're going to have to build in there. And I don't even know if there's actually enough room to put it in there.
And
But
if,
we found no other disturbances in the area, no abnormalities when we did our investigation. I asked Michael Pratt the same question. He didn't find anything.
and obviously if there's septic systems that are found, during that kind of excavation, they're required to contact the Board of Health. So not finding, any existing dry wells or anything leads us to believe that that was decommissioned
Okay.
properly. But again, just because it's a new location, because of the proximity of the lot and the tightness of coming in the driveway through the garage and back entrance area, it's tight. So do you, there is another possible request, Kevin?
Yes,
Do you
there
want
is.
to,
You want me to do that now, or you want to handle one at a time?
How many variance requests are there?
I think I only need two,
All right.
and that's
Rather
the
get a
30.
second one and then
Yeah,
close
and
the
then-
evidence and then,
and then go from there, that's fine.
Go from
Okay,
I was
well,
thinking if you have the whole picture.
yeah, it might make
then-
things easier for us.
Yeah.
Okay, the second one being requested is I have a 30-foot offset on the sewer line that comes out of the back of the house, wraps around the foundation, and goes out to the street. And there's a number of reasons we're requesting that. The first one is, if you look at the photographs, there's a picture looking in from the driveway. I have an extremely tight radius here, so much so that I have to remove the concrete steps and take them off and put them back on to get the well truck in. And you'll note we have the overhead eaves laid out here. I have a 14-foot run. You got a well truck that's over 30 feet long in there. It's a very tight run. So that's one issue related to that. The second issue, and there's pictures there of it. Once we get in this area, it's very hard to move around and try to get a well truck, a 30-foot truck moving around in the back there is not that easy. But in addition to that, we have that, there's a huge tree. And we have a very patient buyer on this house, and they've been willing to wait. But I don't think they'd be very happy, and we'd probably lose a sale, which I don't know what would happen then if we went back there and whacked that tree down. It's a beautiful tree, so we didn't want to hit that tree either. If we go further back in that 50 foot, we're going to start clipping that tree, if not take it down altogether. So that's what motivated that. It's a distance issue. I talked to the well guy about security of the system. He's a recognized guy. He's been doing it for a number of years, and he did 5 wells for me last year, actually. I guess my terminology, because I'm not a professional in the well business, the pipe that gets set into the bedrock will be coated, or they cover it somehow. I don't know what.
Casing?
The casing that goes in, they make that secure as an additional factor. I said, is there any reason to do with the line? He wasn't concerned with the line from the well to the house because it's an approximate 4-foot depth, and the sewer line is over here about 8 feet in the ground. It goes around away from it, and I believe it's a pressure line, but I'm not sure on that. So it's really the physical ability to get back there and to put it in is the key.
So Kevin, you're talking about the proposed well location to the existing septic
Well line.
line? Okay.
A sewer line,
Yep.
right here.
The sewer line that's coming out
The
and
back.
wrapping around, goes
Right.
out to the front to connect. You can't meet the 50 feet.
That's why, yes,
Yep.
we have a 30-foot offset there, and that's
Okay.
why I'm requesting it for the number of reasons I gave.
Yep.
Mhm.
So that's the request that you would.
That's the other variance. I
Okay.
don't know if I need any others, though. Check with you in a second.
And the reasoning for no additional protection, the well driller is.
Yeah, Andy
stating
Brewer,
that-
he knows what he's doing. He's put a number of wells in. And he felt that the 30 feet, especially with the sewer line that is either gravity or pressure fed out to the street, would naturally go away anyways. He didn't feel there was an issue here. And I asked him in quite detail with that. And I've had him to this site 3 times. He wasn't overly concerned. The other thing is, I mean, if they didn't want to spend any additional funds because there's only so much funds left to these people. I don't know what's available, but that's a key issue, but it's an important factor in consideration. And we ran the well line out away from the sewer line, obviously. We have serious access problems. If you look at the concrete step, you can't go that way. I can't go where the bulkhead is because you'll see the bit pad, that's a steel bulkhead right there. And the whole back of the house is an extended porch. So it's about 6 to 8 feet. You've got to go under a porch and then tap into the foundation. So we brought it out over to the side of the house by the driveway. It's a clean shot too. And it's further, and the more you put the line in, the further away you're getting from the sewer line. So it grows away. And we will disconnect this house from the shallow, whatever well it is over there, the shared well.
Is that where the pipe's going now from the shared well into that? Is it going in on that same
It's
side of the
generally in the
house?
middle area here, over in this area,
Okay.
favoring, I'd say, the driveway side of the property. I don't have the exact dimensions.
All right.
So it goes underneath, it goes from the house, I'm guessing diagonally over to underneath the driveway.
The driveway.
That's my guess, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't even know if that's I think that's a dug well.
Yeah.
Going
It's a
in near the
1900
bulkhead?
well.
Yeah.
Going in near the bulkhead?
No, well, we're gonna.
No, where the existing one is.
Well, I'm guessing it goes somewhere like
Okay,
this way.
all right.
We have no data on that. And I did ask the homeowner what information he had on it. He said, I just bought it. Well, the bank's changed, so.
I'm surprised they haven't had problems even with the plumbing, having it go underneath. Anyway.
Okay.
So you, just
So
to,
I think that's the only ones I need, variances I need in order to get this well in and connect it to the house.
okay, so that was my next question. You're not looking at the third waiver request? Because it looks like you have the 15 feet.
I just wanted to be safe here.
Yeah.
Is there an offset from a driveway on a well?
Yeah,
15
15
feet.
feet,
What
but-
about the line?
No, not
Okay, then I
not
don't
the
need it.
line, just the actual well.
The
Yeah,
well itself.
that's more than 30 feet.
Yeah.
15 feet away.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
15 feet to the garage, so it's
All right.
only those two then.
Okay. So we have 2 proposed variances. One is for the offset to drop from, because we don't know where the other systems are, or if they've been abandoned where they were. And then the other one is
the setback
The
distance
setback
from the
sewer
sewer
line.
line.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be 50 feet, and they have
It's 30.
30.
30. Is it 33 or
I
35?
think, no, it's 30. From the
Oh, okay,
well
I'm looking at the
right
other.
to that actual
Okay.
pipe, so it's 30.
I'm trying. Even with my glasses, I can't read this little print. So.
I got a big one for you.
I know. I said it's right there.
All right. Darlene insisted. The first thing says, I'm not taking your plan. I attached the
You know
PDF
something?
on it.
I
You
think
can
I have
read it.
one
I
there,
said,
too.
oh, okay.
I couldn't
Motion
see
to
it.
close
That's
the
a big one.
evidentiary.
I have a motion to close the evidentiary and discussion part of the hearing.
Yes, I'll make that motion.
No, he made the motion. I need a
Oh,
second.
aye,
All right. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. At this point, it's member time. So, where are we at, Steve? What are you looking at? What are you thinking?
We've been here before.
Huh?
Not on this property.
No, but I
we're
understand.
Very similar. It's not ideal, but it's what we have.
Yep. It'd be a lot easier if there was a water line running down the street. You just say connect to the water line.
That's right.
The water
That's
pipe.
right.
That's it.
I'd be inclined to motion that we accept the variance requested for number one, offset from any possible septic systems of 100 feet. And with variance requested, can we do it on one motion?
I think, are you looking to put any conditions or anything on that? If,
That would be up to his motion.
Right.
With water testing or anything like that, you could throw that into the motion. If
you could handle them separately, I think it might
All
be
right, well,
cleaner.
let's do the motion for variance request number one to accept and approve variance request number one as presented.
Any testing or anything like that of the well? Because it may end up for both, because both variances could require testing.
Exactly, I was
So-
going to cover it on variance two.
Okay,
but
that's
we
fine.
could-
That's fine.
yeah.
So you make you're making the motion. I'm out of it.
Me too.
No, you have to
You
second.
want to second it, or shall we revisit it? No?
What are you doing? Tell me what you're doing.
I just made a motion to accept variance number one, waiver of the 100-foot buffer zone
From the other
from
properties.
from the other properties.
Right. I agree.
Your second?
Okay. It is a roll call vote. Steve, how do you vote?
Aye.
Marion, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ray votes aye. So variance one, the setback from the neighboring septic systems, due diligence has been made, so you've done everything you can, and they're not giving you any, they're not letting you onto the property.
Correct.
So it passes 3-0, Paula.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on the second request for variance, this is the one of the 50 feet from the sewer line down to 30 feet. Do I have a motion?
I'm looking at additional testing under well reg 6.8. Additional tests for chemicals, organisms may be required by the Board of Health or their duly authorized agent. In regards to what would be due diligence,
We could,
annually for 5 years, then every other, or once every 5 years, or normally these wells are only tested on sale. Do we want to require or recommend?
here's the thing, normally on sale, it's not required by our board.
No,
Um,
mostly by lenders.
Right, it's usually by lenders
Right.
or obviously strongly recommended by us. So if somebody contacts us and says, geez, I'm looking at a property that has a well or a septic, I always, you know, let them know what the requirements and what the recommendations, obviously Title V's
Right.
versus a recommended well test. In this situation, I think it's probably something that's reasonable based upon the two different variances that are being requested to have a well test now. So you obviously, when the new well is drilled, you're going to get that set of well testing
Baseline.
that's required.
Right.
So you're going to have a baseline,
Right.
and then you could do, you know, yearly. You could do a yearly test for the next 3 years, 5 years. I think if you're not seeing in the first 3 years any hits of coliform. Basically, we do a Title V scan,
Right.
like we would do for when you're doing a Title V inspection. You're going to take that water test and you're going to put it through that Title V scan. If you're not seeing, you know, any contamination, you know, in the first 3 years, it's something that you can do as a recommendation after that. That's really the board's pleasure. But realistically, if there were any existing septic systems, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see, I think, in my opinion, contamination. You know, where this well, that's gonna be drilled with a casing into bedrock, obviously what Kevin was explaining, the licensed well company, it's going to be a much safer situation than
What's going
what
on now.
is
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
an
Right, oh, yeah.
unknown dug well that, you know, you're going to have a more sanitary water supply. So you typically with, when we have septic repairs, and we kind of in a similar situation where we're testing water, a water supply, we do 6 months after the well is drilled, and then whether it be annually. You know, I know in the past, I've seen you do something similar to that,
Right.
6 months out, and then maybe an annual test, and then you put a timeline on how many annual
Right.
tests, if you want it perpetual, you know, in infinity, or
If there
a
was
set amount of
If there
time.
was actual active subsurface systems nearby, that may not be unreasonable,
Right.
but
The assumption here is
everything's
all these
been
properties have been
decommissioned.
connected. You know, he's gone through due diligence to reasonably assume that you don't have any existing systems.
Right.
It's just a matter of what protections are you going to take and steps you're going to ensure that this water supply stays safe. And additionally, while you are considering it, my strong recommendation is to make sure that as part of your approval, if you go forward with these well variances, that when this existing dug well has to be made structurally safe. So you
Who has ownership of that?
well,
Split.
yeah,
Each property owns equally. So 43 has 100% use and 47 has 100% use. It's a shared well under the deed
Right.
by easement.
because-
Unrestricted use of either party.
because they're coming, obviously 47 Berlin, you know, is coming to ask for these variances. I think there's ownership to, and responsibility to make sure that that shared well becomes a safe situation. So whether that be a manhole or somebody who's licensed to be able to, you know, put some sort of structure so that it is made a safe situation and
I just don't want to
maintain.
put anything into motion that would make them perpetually responsible for the neighbor's well. You know, so, all right, so.
So we'll have, I understand there's going to be a need to cap that. I would want that too. I wouldn't want any kids falling in there. Just a little, I don't know what you're talking in terms of
What's
caps.
the diameter of that?
I can't, it's hard to know. There was so much stuff
Yeah.
over it as a protective. You know, there were protective steps made.
What
I'd
was
be
the,
more
what was
than
the
happy.
area of the protected stuff that you saw?
Maybe
4 by 4s?
4 by
Yeah,
4?
4 by 4 would be reasonable.
You know, some form of concrete cap or something, or pressure-treated wood that doesn't rot. I mean,
I think you could do some sort of.
you might
like
want
a
to leave some accessibility to the owner
Yeah,
in case they have to get into it.
you could do like a manhole structure over it, you know, I've seen that where you'd have the cover right at grade, you know, you put something over it so that it's maintained, the area around it's maintained.
All right, now, let's see if I can get this then. I'll make a motion to accept and grant the variance requested under waiver number 2 with the offset from the sewer line on the property with the following conditions. Once the well is completed, the well report is received, we'll have a 6-month follow-up test done. And then 1 year thereafter, and then the 18-month anniversary, have a follow-up test. I think if they're, second condition is that upon the disconnection from the existing well, the wellhead cover is made secure in any fashion necessary to prevent debris, people, animals from falling into that well.
Right, okay,
If that's a pressure-treated cover, a concrete cover,
okay.
just make it
I'm
secure.
almost afraid to take it off, but since there's nobody living there right now, you know, I didn't want to pollute it.
I think the,
Hold on, we have a motion on. We have to, before we can talk, we have to finish the
So-
motion.
Accept the waiver request with the two conditions, 6-month from the well report
Yep,
with an 18-month, so 2 tests following,
okay.
and then make that existing well
Secure,
Well cover.
covered, secure.
okay.
I just want to, in accordance with building department requirements,
Mhm.
so.
In
because it's
accordance
gonna
with
be-
building.
Thank you.
Thank you, building department requirements.
Do we have a second?
I do.
Okay, it will be a roll call vote. Steve, how do you vote?
Aye.
Maren, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ray votes aye.
And I think if there was problems with the tests and that 6-month, 18-month thing, you're gonna get a report of that.
Yeah.
And
And then we can make
take
requirements
corrective-
after that, yeah.
Okay.
Just
Quick
like any other
question.
well.
I just don't wanna burden them with
No,
yearly
exactly.
testing.
When you say testing on the 6-month and the 18-month, is that just a
Coliform.
coliform component?
Coliform.
I mean, you have to do the whole screen like it's putting in a brand new well type of test?
No, so the
Okay.
initial, when you do the new well.
Oh, yeah, you
so
get
you're
the
gonna
full
do the
screen.
full scan.
Right,
I just want to make sure I
That
understand.
would be
I
fine.
think what the board is saying, at the 6-month and then the 18-month test, you're going to
Okay.
be doing the Title V scan.
Yeah.
Title V
Yeah.
scan is what you
And I
call it.
can, I can
That's
give
right.
you that,
Okay.
I'll give that information to you
All right,
in the approval letter.
very good.
All right, take a motion to close the hearing.
And I can't reach it.
Second?
How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
Here is
Thank
both.
Can I ask one more question? How
Sure.
soon can I get the permit?
Talk to Paula.
I filed it because I have a seller that, is my understanding, is moving into the house by the buyer.
Mhm.
Is moving into, and the seller's agreed to that, but we're like,
Yeah.
one of these things.
Kevin,
Okay.
if you give me a call tomorrow afternoon, I'll
This one's
work with
South
you on how to move forward with us.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Thank you, appreciate your
Thank you very
time.
much.
Thank you.
Night.
Take your water.
I'll take my water.
Okay, next up, we have 375 South Street. We have a variance request to Auburn Title V amendments. How you doing? Could you sign in if you haven't signed in yet? Oh, you did sign in? Okay, thank you.
Do we have any documents here on this?
I
Oh.
didn't have anything in mind.
So.
Oh, it's right here, the Form 3.
Yes, that's going to be the certificate of compliance you'll have in your packet. You also have a variance request from Tom Murphy, who's present. He is the builder for the property, and supporting documents from his engineer for the system. So we have that paperwork. In addition, I also have a plan here for the property. If you'd like, I can give you the review. Would you like the review? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just
All
going
right.
over this again.
So, this property, 375 South Street, we have a plan that was submitted back in the fall. And the original plan that came to us was for a 4-bedroom house. The lot size, as you can see, is a little over 43,000 square feet. As you are aware, the town of Auburn has a regulation for design plus 1 bedroom. This is a new construction lot, so a new house was built by Mr. Murphy. The intended house that he wanted to build was a 4-bedroom, is that correct?
Yes.
So, the design that came in was a 4-bedroom, but it had to be design plus 1, so you actually have to design for 5 bedrooms. The plan was reviewed by the previous director, Andy Pelletier, and in accordance with Title V, Title V doesn't actually allow design for 5 bedrooms for this size acreage of the lot. So there was a review that had gone out. There was a plan that came in as revised for a 3-bedroom house. The 3-bedroom had an over-design to accommodate for 4 bedrooms, actually.
Yep, the 3+1.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this came in, and there was advisement given if they wanted to do this as a 4-bedroom house, they'd have to ask for a variance from the town code, not Title V,
Title
because
V
it
is
actually
okay. It
meets
meets
Title
Title
V for 4 bedrooms.
Mhm.
So the house actually did get built, and the system did go in as a 3-bedroom. The certificate of compliance that you have in front of you actually was completed recently. The system installation actually started, I believe it was in December, through the winter, and obviously had some challenges with just the weather, because we had such a brutal winter. So system was actually completed, the house was completed, loomed and seated and stabilized. So we actually did our required inspections. In July, we issued a certificate of compliance with the 3-bedroom design that we had. There was actually plans on file with the building department that was actually a 4-bedroom house. So a 4-bedroom house was built, but we only had the 3-bedroom design. So the certificate of compliance reflects that. So realistically, the variance to the local code would have been, in a perfect world, would have been requested before the house and the system was put in. So in order for us to make sure that the building records and the septic Board of Health records are matching and in line with compliance, Mr. Murphy is here before the board to request a variance from the local code. This plan meets Title V for 4 bedrooms under the state code for Title V, but it doesn't meet the code for 4 bedrooms under the town code, because you need to handle 5 bedrooms. Does that reflect your?
Yep. And I just want to add that I did not realize I was doing, when we first perked this, Andy and I and my engineer Seth, we were talking and I was showing him the plan, and I was all set with doing a 5-bedroom system. I'm not that guy that's trying to chintz on something or trying to pass something that I didn't do. Then a couple weeks went by and was told that I couldn't put a 5-bedroom system in. So I was, in my head, I've done over 100 houses on my own. I honestly thought I was all set with a 4-bedroom house with a 4-bedroom system. And that's all I can say. I mean, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I just thought it was because of Title V, with the size of the lot, because the lot was grandfathered in. And it was cut out in like the 70s. And I went through that hoop when I first bought the lot, because at first I bought the lot, it was for sale forever. And I almost thought it was going to be a wooded lot after I bought it, for a second.
Okay.
And I didn't try to do this. I didn't realize what I did. I didn't know about it until I saw the certificate that said for 3-bedroom, and I was like, I wasn't trying to hide. I clearly built a 4-bedroom house, and I didn't know I was doing something wrong.
How many
Yes.
other houses have you bought in town?
I mean, built.
None.
This is your first in town?
First one.
So, Yeah, we do have a local variance, a local code that says you have to build 4+1. Reason being is a lot of the houses in the town back in the day were built with 2 to 3 bedrooms. Families got bigger, they put a bedroom over the garage. So in order to do that with new construction, this was voted on years ago, that would always be +1. So if you
Right.
want to build a 4-bedroom house, you have to have a 5-bedroom system. Your lot, because of the perk test and the perk rate, it wouldn't accept that. You didn't have a big enough field.
Yeah.
So that's what that's saying. That's what I can read from what Seth has written and what
Yeah.
everything that, according to, like if you were trying to build a 5-bedroom house, it wouldn't pass Title V. But you're trying to build a 4-bedroom house, which passes Title V,
But not town.
but doesn't pass our town code. So, and I think when I saw what you had said, how Andy had said, oh no, it won't support a 5-bedroom, and you said, oh, I'm only doing a 4-bedroom. Little confusion between the two is
Yeah.
what I can possibly see.
Honestly, God, it was
Um,
because I wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound, but I always do. Honestly, I've built 1-bedroom bigger systems a ton of times.
Yeah.
If I do a 3-bedroom house, I've always done a 4-bedroom system. I've always done that,
Okay.
and it was just honestly, Andy drilled in my head that it was a 4-bedroom house, and I was doing a 5-bedroom system. And I said, yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to know what I had to design
Yeah.
because I didn't do the design yet,
Mhm.
and I'm not the guy I build a custom house. I'm not a track builder.
Well, so right now, it's sitting as a 4-bedroom house right now, but our paperwork says it's a 3, correct?
Correct. And my variance, all I would like to see is for the homeowner that bought the house, because I almost got in hot water because I was advertising a 4-bedroom house through my realtor.
Mhm.
They bought it as a 4-bedroom house, which is all they needed. And all of a sudden, I got this compliance that says 3-bedroom. Then the bank went, whoa. They put
Lower taxes.
They had to actually reassess the house, and it came in okay, still with the money.
Okay.
But I do have a little money held by the homeowner because of this.
So, so what you're looking for is a variance to, you're actually looking for a variance to the title, our regs, the town, our local ordinance.
Correct.
That's what you're looking for. Okay. Just for discussion from the board. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen this come in before it was built, but I think that, excuse me?
Motion to close. Motion to close evidentiary.
Well, last time we didn't do it till after we did the discussion, so I was gonna leave it this
Okay.
way, we might as well.
Evidentiary.
Just real quick, because he may have something to add to, so
Okay.
if just what I'm thinking, you guys can correct me if you're wrong, we can go back into discussion on that too. So we're looking for that, variance, and, like I said, it would have been better if it would have come to us in the beginning, because it would have been nice and
Pre-built,
easy.
yeah.
We would have said, yeah, go ahead, do it. If we are to, give the variance, I would ask the stipulations that the house remains a 4-bedroom house in perpetuity, because if it can't hold the system, there's no way they can build an extra bedroom 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, that's what I'm looking at, because that's how it's built for Title V. So that means it could never be a 5-bedroom house under Title V.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I would ask for us, if we were gonna do that, we'd have to put that it can never, a deed restriction. It could never go above a 4-bedroom home.
Is that garage there?
It
The
is.
garage is there.
And what's on
The
That's
garage is,
the extra room.
is it a bonus room that's unfinished, or is it
Well,
actually one of the
It's,
bedrooms?
it's one of the bedrooms.
Okay,
yeah, it has a closet and windows.
it's one of the 4 bedrooms.
Yes.
All right,
There's 3 bedrooms on the first floor and another room over the garage.
and that's the 4th bedroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. The building
Potential
plans,
for additional flow through this house? No?
the building plans reflect a 4-bedroom design.
Right.
So, the existing, what's existing right now,
Mhm.
doesn't match what this plan states.
Mhm.
It's, the plan design can handle the 4 bedrooms.
Right,
But
right.
we would want, if the board considers having this as labeled as a 4-bedroom, we would just have, recommendation would be to have a plan that states existing 4-bedroom house, with, you know, we can do the certificate of compliance that
Mhm.
reflects the four-bedroom with the exception to the town code. And that way you would have all the documents reflect the same as what's existing.
Yeah.
You can obviously consider the deed restriction as well.
So if there's no other evidence, then we can go into. Do you wanna?
Motion to close the evidentiary portion of the hearing.
How do you-
Aye.
How do you vote?
Aye.
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 Okay. So now it's up to us.
Any discussion? I mean, it would have seemed that it would have been a lot easier to have come
Ahead of time,
pre-built.
yeah.
And I
Instead
honestly
of all that
didn't
kind of-
realize.
Yeah.
Maybe it was brought to my attention, but I didn't know about it, to be honest with you. Between Seth, Andy, and, I'm sorry, Darlene coming in, there was a little bit of confusion at the time.
Mhm.
And I let Seth do a lot of my talking to Andy at the beginning, so I didn't know a lot of what was happening. I try not to do my engineer's job. I didn't do this on purpose. I didn't even realize I was doing something wrong. And I remember saying to Andy, I'm safe.
So
you know?
Seth did this plan for you.
Yes, he did.
Okay, so Seth, because the first plan came through as a 4-bedroom and then it got changed, so Seth changed it to a 3-bedroom.
He changed it because of what Andy was telling him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we do
Okay.
have a plan review letter from Andy.
Okay.
This plan did come in while the previous director was here. Obviously, it changed to me when he left, but those comments were identified, and I did speak to Mr. Murphy and Mr. LaJoy to tell them what was needed. So we do have that documented. Obviously, the situation is what it is. So we're in a situation where we want to make sure that the paperwork reflects what's actually there. Because if you look at building paperwork and Board of Health paperwork,
doesn't match.
they don't match. And, you know, when you come right down to it, the flow can handle 4 bedrooms. It can't handle 5, but it can handle 4.
By Title V, it cannot, this lot will not take a 5-bedroom.
5-bedroom, no, we're
Correct.
not.
Yeah.
So is it
Yeah.
even make sense to put a deed restriction on something that's restricted by the state anyway?
You don't need to.
No,
Right.
we shouldn't need
Yes.
to.
No, okay. I'd like to make a motion then, unless there's any more discussion. That we accept the variance as requested from the Auburn to the 4-bedroom, according to Title V for this property, to be effective after receipt of the revised and corrected plan reflecting 4-bedroom.
And also, if I can just recommend the certificate of compliance and the,
All paperwork.
I'll take, yeah.
so the
So once
as-built plan?
Once all paperwork comes reflecting it is a 4-bedroom house, to accept the requested variance.
Do I have a second?
Second. Aye.
Roll call vote. Steve, how do you vote?
Aye.
Marion, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ray votes no. 2 to 1 to accept. So you have your variance, okay? So we'll have to get to Seth and get him to get a full set of plans. Is that correct?
No
Okay.
problem. No problem. I appreciate that, and like I said, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't know that. I've done 100 houses on my own, and like I
Every town has its different bylaws.
yeah,
so-
and I honestly built a house last year in Millbury, and Title V, I had ledge on the lot, and I ripped down a house. It was a dilapidated house, but honestly, it was clear to me I couldn't build anything bigger than a 3-bedroom home, and that's what I did. You know, I just knew it from the get-go. They were calling it because of the cesses and all that stuff, what was there. I knew from the get-go, and I didn't do it. I just didn't finish above the garage. I built a 3-bedroom house, you know. but this neighborhood was, it could accept a bigger house. And I built this house a little bit smaller. I drew it, I do all the drawings myself, and I just made it a little bigger. And I didn't realize I was doing something wrong, that's all. And I thought it was because of the lot was grandfathered. It was something to do with that.
So, Mr. Murphy, if you want to contact,
Seth.
yeah, so we're gonna
Motion to
need
close?
sorry.
No, you can continue, we're just closing the motion for,
Okay.
closing the meeting, the hearing. 3 to, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. All right, hearing is closed.
So the only thing that you'll need to do is get us a new certificate of compliance, reflecting, the signatures, so you need Seth's,
Yep.
Peter Fox, and then he just needs to change this to reflect the
4-bedroom.
existing 4-bedroom, okay? So once we have, we need 2 as-bills and 2...
Let me just write this down, 2 as-built.
Yep. He's gonna write right on that as-built that the local town code has been, variance has been
Variance.
approved. Yep.
Local town code.
Yep. Section 5.3. I'm gonna put this in a letter for you,
Yeah.
okay?
Yep.
But just so you know,
Yep.
I don't want you to feel nervous about what you need to ask.
Section, say that again.
5.3.
Variance. Or 4-bedroom. Okay.
Thank you very much.
And then now I got signatures. That's 1 and 2. And do you have that form for me to get signed? Or do I have to have everybody come in?
Seth LaJoy,
Yep.
your engineer, is going to prepare that form.
Okay.
So the certificate of compliance and the as-built, I'm actually gonna take 2 as-built so that we have one on file here
Yep.
and one for the homeowner.
Yep, perfect. Yep, because I have all the copies of everything else
Yeah,
for the homeowner.
yep. But he actually stamps those as-built plans.
Yep.
So he's gonna make those changes.
Okay.
He doesn't change anything else on the plan except just the wording,
Yep,
okay?
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you
very
guys.
much.
All right. Okay, I'd like to open the next hearing, 14 Horseshoe Drive, waiver for alternative solid waste disposal. Anybody here for that?
What drive is it?
14 Horseshoe? Okay,
All right, so,
you have the paperwork on that one, this should be rather quick.
yes, the,
Nobody's here.
14 Horseshoe Drive, you have in your packet a request for alternative solid waste disposal. We received this request within the last week and a half. And the gentleman that came in is Joseph Walneys, is the property owner at 14 Horseshoe Drive. His nephew came in on his behalf to put in this request. Basically what he explained is that the municipal solid trash is, he's paying for right now. He's looking to do a request, a waiver from the alternative solid waste disposal. So how that works is if you have the municipal trash service, the town has Allied Waste Republic come and pick up your trash and recycling weekly. If you don't want to use the municipal trash services offered by the town, you can actually fill out an alternative solid waste disposal form, and you identify who your license hauler is going to be. As you know, the Board of Health licenses the trash haulers that work in town. So they would have to have an alternative licensed trash hauler that comes and picks up their trash. So that's completed by the alternative trash hauler. What's happening for this request is they don't want the municipal trash and they don't want to do an alternative trash. They actually want to take the trash from the home and take it off-site and bring it elsewhere, resulting in no service through a formal contract. Mr. Walney, Peter Walney, attached a copy of his current bill that he gets through Oxford. He lives in Oxford, and so he pays for his own trash, and so he's would like to take his uncle's trash to his house in Oxford under his contract. So for
When
sorry.
when are the bills? When were the bills due for the second? I know we do a 6-month periods.
August 1st.
Yeah.
They do August 1st. Okay, so he did get it in before the
He did.
the deadline. Okay, that's what I was looking
Yes,
for.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. So the assessor's office is very good about, putting out the deadlines, and if anybody comes in after that deadline, they, are certainly sent up through our department to be able to handle any requests. But the solid waste rules and regulations obviously identify, waste being handled from properties in town. The trash is something that's required. You have either the choice of using the trash service set up by the municipality, or if you prefer not to go that route and you want to try to see if you can get something more reasonable, you go the route of getting an alternative trash hauler. I think the concerns that you might have with not having somebody whose license come to the property on a regular basis. I know that we have just recently had a property that had trash, 20 bags of trash piled high. They're not on, they weren't on the trash service for the town, and they didn't have an alternative. So again, working with them to get a licensed hauler identified.
I used to do this, but I had a business, so I was dumping in my business. This is going from one house to another house, it looks like.
Mhm. I could,
I look at it two ways.
if Mr. Woolney had a business in Oxford and he was bringing his trash to his business
Business.
where he has a commercial account,
Yep.
I don't see, this form is built for that.
For that, yeah,
But where it's going from one residence to
To
an
another.
out-of-town residence.
yeah. That's
Do we know what size tote he has now?
I do not.
The one in Oxford is a 90-gallon tote.
Right, and I was
Yeah.
curious as if this was a 45 or a 90.
So I
It's a
mean,
small one.
I look at it
Small
this
one.
way, not that if it's an elderly gentleman, he's got one bag of trash a week. Yes, it's an exorbitant amount of trash. Its cost is high. I only do 1.5 bags a week, and I'm like going nuts. But yeah, I just don't like residence to residence. If it was a business, I'd feel a little more comfortable. I just don't know, because that means somebody's gonna come, pick up the trash, put it in their personal vehicle, drive it to their house, put it there. And I've dealt with enough hoarding cases and trash cases around households, it just makes me a little leery.
Part of your regulations here for solid waste, unless otherwise provided for in these regulations, all residential property owners participating in solid waste collection shall pay a user fee.
Mm-hmm.
There's an understanding that if you own a property, that's one of the services that you're required to have. I'm sure everybody would like to not be able to pay for trash, but it is part of owning a property is to be able to
Yeah.
have minimum required services. And they do have, the one thing that I can say is that we do get quite a few requests if somebody wants to go from the large, the large toters to the smaller toters. There's obviously a price, there's a price break with that. So, I'm not sure what toter he is on existing, but that's something
Paula said the small one.
Small one.
Oh, he is on
Yeah.
the small one?
It's $88 every 6 months.
So he's already on the smaller one.
If it was a business, it'd be a business, it'd be totally different. Anybody? Hey, crickets.
So he is using an alternative service?
No.
No, he's not.
No, he's not,
Isn't-
okay.
Bringing
He's-
it to his nephew's
The
house.
The
Yeah,
nephew
it's,
is-
okay.
Right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he's currently on the municipal
Mhm.
trash service.
He wants to get off.
But they want to,
He wants.
right, they want to get off of that trash service and they don't want to use an alternative hauler
Mhm.
per regulation for the town. So they would like not to pay a trash bill to the town.
How old is he, you know?
Alright, any more evidence to be given or discussion?
I don't have any
No more evidence from you?
more evidence.
Any evidence or discussion?
Motion to close the evidentiary and discussion
Do I have a
portion
s-
of the hearing.
do I have a second? How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, where do you want to go? Who's going to make a motion? Good thing is I can't.
Oh, if you do it for this person,
Well, that's the thing, is it sets precedent.
It's right.
Yep, it sets precedent.
snowball. 2 others.
Well, I'm trying to think if we've had one of these since we took over solid waste. I don't think we have.
No.
We've had home to business, which we've had home to business. I know that, which is allowable. Because if you have a private business, then you're allowed to do that. We haven't had a home to home, especially out of town.
Right. Motion to decline the requested,
To deny.
deny.
Do I have a second?
Second?
How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So,
Motion to close
do I have a
the
second?
hearing on 14 Horseshoe Drive.
Do I have a second? How do you vote?
Aye.
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 3-0. Okay, so we're gonna get a letter out.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Next one, we have another solid waste. This is 17 Appleton Road.
Yeah, that's my mom's address.
Okay.
Okay.
Go and have a seat if you haven't signed in. Same thing. Okay.
Hi.
So your mom is Mara,
Yes, Maura Bandela Vikouskas.
okay, and you are?
Darlene Ebenstein, I'm her daughter.
All right, Darlene, nice to have you here. So, just let us know on your side what's going on.
Well, my mom put the request in to have her trash no longer being picked up from the town of Auburn.
Okay.
Right now, health-wise, she's not doing too well. She's had a couple of hospitalizations in the last couple of years. And just due to financial, she's on Social Security, she's on a very limited budget. So she talked to me, we talked about it, and we just thought maybe that this would be the best solution for her. I have been taking her trash from her house for the past 3 or 4 weeks. It's a bag that's filled like half to a 13-gallon white trash bag. It goes in my city bag, and they just take it every week. So there's no like legal dumping anywhere or leaving anything, and it's just her living at the house by herself at this time.
What size toter does she have from the town right now?
I'm sorry?
What size toter does she have from us? The toter?
She has like the small brown
Small
one,
one, okay.
and then she has another one. She has the green for the recycling.
Recycling and the
then
other.
she has the small brown one. She used to have the big brown one, but now
Yeah.
then she downsized.
Yep.
So,
So right now you're taking away, I understand, the small bag.
Yes, I
But
am.
is she doing any recycling?
I'm sorry.
Is there anything in the recycling bin?
No, she's not using the recycling
So
bin any
everything
longer,
she
but
uses is going in
everything,
and
everything
spinning in
that
that
like
one.
she has, like whether it's like a plastic bottle or tissues or anything like that, it's going in that one bag and it's being like picked up by me
Okay.
and dumped into the yellow trash bag
Mhm.
that we use out in Worcester.
Yep, city bags. Paying the senior fee?
I don't know.
I believe
I'm-
the smaller toter
Is the
is
senior?
the discounted rate.
The discount rate, okay.
We don't have like a minimum or maximum of how many bags that we can put out there or anything like that.
You're talking in Worcester.
For Worcester,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
for Worcester, we
You
don't
can
have
use
that
bags.
Yeah.
minimum or that maximum, and
Sure.
when, before, like, I even started taking the trash, my mom was recycling in both, like, the recycling in her, green for the recycling and then the brown for the regular trash, so.
So,
So when you pick up, you're picking up the trash.
I'm picking
and-
up her trash and bringing it to my house, basically tying it up and throwing it in a yellow trash bag, and then it goes out on Thursdays every week.
Is that like plastic
So-
bottles as well and?
It picks everything up.
Mm.
The Worcester trash picks everything up, recycling, newspapers, everything. So,
Same thing as the one before.
Yeah, it's the same code.
It is.
It's the same
So
code,
the,
the requirements from the town.
Yeah, the solid waste user fee regulations are identified for, again, for all residential property owners participating in a solid waste program shall pay the user fee. Unless they do the alternative,
Yeah.
If you want to look at an alternative licensed trash hauler, they have to be licensed by the Board of Health. We do have a updated trash hauler list. Actually, it's hot off the press,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they can research options for a lower trash
Low
hauler.
rate.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if it's not the municipal trash service, it's the alternative.
I don't know, that's what my mom's on. She has
we're just trying to, like I said, we're
No.
trying to do away with
Save-
the whole thing
yeah, I
at
understand.
all, and it's just, the situation right now.
Mhm.
On the, medical side of it and the financial side of it, so.
It's at 88 a cent,
Sorry?
the cost of the small totes.
$88. My mother gets a discount if
How
they're
much are they now?
88.
over 70.
It's
It's
88.
$88 every 6 months.
Mhm.
And for senior as well?
Same thing, yeah, that's
Yep,
the
same
discounted
thing.
rate, 88.
Yeah,
My mom's a senior.
yeah.
You know that.
So this is going to be a similar case
Yeah, it's
as
just-
to the
yeah.
one
Similar case,
previously.
kind of stuck on the regulation itself.
I mean, what laws are we breaking? I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm from a different town. You know what I mean? I mean, my mom's lived here for over 30 years, taxpayer, that kind of thing. I just, you know what I mean? I just don't know, like, the laws, but, I mean, she's always recycled and always put her trash out and paid, and, it's just unfortunate the circumstances right now, and like I said, I've been doing it for the past month. So,
The requirements, just to answer your question, Darlene, is the requirement set by the town is that, owning a property in town, there's an expectation that trash is going to be generated, and that trash has to be removed in a legal, proper way. So that is done either by two ways, through the municipal trash service, which is offered through Allied Waste Republic is our hauler, or the alternative is to go through an alternative hauler. So we do have, a list of licensed trash haulers that operate here in the town of Auburn. So if you chose not to have the municipal trash service, you could research and get an alternative trash hauler, which is essentially this form. It would be the form that you used. However, the licensed trash hauler that you chose, you'd have them fill this out. So basically, there's proof that your trash is being handled properly.
I mean, what if I know somebody down in City of Worcester. I mean, is it a matter of like them signing off on the paperwork and saying, hey, you know, I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't, you know, and I just.
It comes down to, in health codes, there's licensed trash haulers. They are licensed to, the dump trucks are licensed. You can't just pick a pickup truck and pick up trash all along the street. And not saying you're doing that, but a licensed trash hauler has to go through certain things with DEP and everything like that. They have these things they have to do. Transporting trash in a vehicle from one house to another is not considered a licensed trash hauler by the code. So our code states, the town code states, that everybody has to have their trash picked up by a licensed hauler. Whether it's us or the people who are contracted by the town to do it, or if you find a cheaper one and that you can go with, that's fine, but we have to have a licensed trash removal at every location, at every house. And that's what our code says, and that's what we base. And it's difficult for us because we just picked up solid waste 3 years ago, so we go through everything as it's written, because the solid waste committee comes up with the regulations, and then we hold everybody to the regulations. So we run into that, and I understand where your difficulty is, because you're not the only one. There's been other people in the same boat as you saying, well, it's a half trash bag, it's a this. I can take it to my house because it's not that much. But the code states you have to have a licensed hauler to take it off your property. And that's what it comes down to. So we're following the code.
No, I understand. Like I'm, you know, like I said, I just don't know the laws and
Yeah.
But I just, you know, I'm just trying to, you know, see what we could do instead of like trying to, you know, like go through all of this and, you know, see what would, you know, possibly be the best thing, you know. I mean, if it comes down to it that we have to leave it the way it is, then that's what we're just gonna have to do.
I think Darlene also said we have a list of licensed trash haulers. I would take a couple days, make a couple phone calls. You requested this, so right now the payment, I believe, is on hold until we rule on this. And
Well, actually, I have to come down tomorrow and actually make the payment because I know it was due August 1st, which, I mean,
Okay.
we know, like, now today's
Okay.
the 11th, so, but I mean, you know, I mean, I know that,
Okay.
but,
I thought, that's my fault. I thought if they had asked for a variance, it was held until we made the decision.
I don't want to speak for the
Yeah.
assessors department, but she did, we received this by July 30th. I'm not sure, did you have a conversation with the assessors department? Because I believe,
well,
we told them that we would put it through the
when I
hearing.
had talked to them, they had said to send it in, and it wasn't that we were holding it out for this meeting, it's just, I haven't
Okay.
had a chance to actually physically, like, get out here
Okay.
to do,
Okay.
some of the things that I need to do, so I just said, you know, that I would definitely bring the payment tomorrow, and then if it ruled one way or the other, then, you know, then we were just gonna leave it as is,
Yeah.
so.
Because I was saying, if you had time to go through that list, you may find someone that's cheaper and they can pick up once every 2 weeks instead of once a week, where it wouldn't be as an effect. You know, it might be a less expensive way. You could save, you know, if we're doing 88 every 6 months, so you're looking at $176, you might be able to find someone who's going to do it for 130, so you're going to save that extra money. Because if, I don't know how the rest of the board's going to vote, but I usually try and stick to the code because we have a code for a reason. So I was hoping to give you that time. I didn't realize you were coming in to pay it right away. I thought that once it came to us, it was held until we made a decision. But
I think-
that could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I thought that's the way it was until we made a decision.
I
But
think the fact that this came in before the first, before
Yeah.
August 1st.
there'd be
there
no
might
there'd be no late
there-
fees.
Right,
Okay.
there might be some leeway on that. I can
Okay.
check with the assessors department. But again, you know, it's, it's a waiver to the alternative.
Yes.
So depending on what the board votes,
Mhm.
you know, if the board votes to approve this,
Mhm.
then she doesn't have to do the alternative.
Yeah.
If the board denies the request, then she would have to get an alternative hauler.
Yes.
And I think that with her submitting this application, that would be something that I think is reasonable
I
for
would-
her to be able to, you know, get an alternative
Yeah.
hauler if that's the way.
Yeah, because I would put in a request to the assessors to not charge late fees, because we are, you know, depending on how we vote, if we vote to deny, then I'd like to be able to give her some time to say, hey, let me research and find an alternative hauler who may be less expensive than the town.
Can we table the decision? Can we table the hearing and come back to it in 2 weeks?
I don't know, I can't
Or do we
speak for
have-
the assessors.
Yeah.
Or do we- All right.
But what we can do, I mean, what ends up happening is if the assessors decides to put on a late fee, she can apply for variance, and we can vary the late fee on that, because it's kind of our decision that's gonna hold her up. So
Yeah.
it's not her fault if the payment goes in late.
Right.
It's because
But
it's our decision.
if we make a decision here and now,
Yep.
it's
Then,
either gonna be,
yep, one way or the other, and then we can decide.
do we have to make a decision tonight?
Well,
Well, I mean, that's up to you. I mean, obviously, it's a request before you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is there a reason you wouldn't make the decision?
Are you just saying to hold the decision to see if she can find a
To
alternative?
see if there were alternative,
Right.
alternative commercial hauler, or,
Well, we
what's
can,
Part C, place of business?
if you owned your own business.
Doesn't say own a business. It
Yeah,
says
see,
cell
my
phone-
husband
Part
doesn't.
B is cell phone business,
Yeah, he
Part
works
C
for
is place of
somebody else.
business.
Trying to remember how that worked.
Part B is if you owned it
This
yourself.
is, no, this is completed by the alternative hauler.
Yeah,
So this is, you know, this is completed by the hauler, so they're listing the hauler's information here. If it's a cell phone business, the disposal location, or place of business, I think corresponds to the hauler as well. Because this is being signed by the licensed hauler.
Mhm.
So basically, it's proof that the property owner has an alternative hauler in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we
So
have a
we're paying
list
the
of
household
alternatives?
trash.
Yeah,
for that.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, either way we make the decision, we can, I don't think it's gonna affect the finding of if there is a need for an alternative hauler. That's my opinion, I don't know.
I'll make a motion to close the evidentiary and discussion.
That's second.
We have a motion, a second. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So now, before us, we have to make a motion.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Feel free.
You're doing great.
Make a motion to deny the request for abatement of a solid waste fee on the 17 Appleton Road request.
Do we have a second?
Okay.
It is a roll call vote. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So it's 3-0 to deny the request for the trash to be sent off-site. That being said, please check into, I'll get the list from Darlene or Paula of alternative haulers, and see if you can find someone who's a little less expensive and what can be done. Our code just says it has to be taken off the property by a licensed trash hauler. Okay?
Okay, now I have a question too. Like, say if we end up, I end up going back and I talked to my mom and she said, I'm just gonna leave it as it is because I've lived out here for 30 years. And
Yep.
so I'm gonna bring the check down tomorrow for what she owes up until August 1st. So, if she just says to leave everything the way it is, then we'll just leave everything the way it is, and then we won't have to look for a commercial.
Yeah, and then you'll be
that's
fine.
fine, too.
Yeah, then
Okay.
you would just let me know, Darlene.
Okay.
That you want to retract this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'd want to retract the request that you put in.
Okay,
You just leave it as
okay,
is.
great.
Does your
Okay.
mother use any services at home?
I'm sorry?
Does she have any services at home? Elder care, visiting nurses or anything like that? I'm just kind of curious as if there was any agencies out there that may have some
Yeah.
assistance for things such as this. I know. they
Was
do
your
for
mom a
sure,
veteran?
but-
No. 'Cause I know Veterans Assistance is pretty good on stuff like that, so.
I know they did recently mention something about elder services, and that's something that they are looking into right now. So, but like I said, she wanted to put the request in, so.
Sure.
No, we
I just
understand.
wanted to see, like, she wanted to see what would, come out of it, and
Mhm.
if anything, so.
Sure.
Okay.
We have an outreach coordinator. If that's something that, if you're open to it, we can certainly put you in touch with that coordinator. They do a lot of great things. And they may be able to offer some services to your mom, other than the trash, for her
Okay.
health.
Now, I have, just really quick to run this by you, I don't know if this is an option either. My older sister lives in Auburn at Sherman Ave. Now, is it the same thing?
Same
Like,
thing.
moving it from,
Yeah.
my mom's just right around the corner to her would
Yeah.
still be the same?
It-
Okay.
According to the code, yeah,
Okay,
every property
all
has
right.
to have it.
Yeah, okay, because that was something else that my older sister had mentioned too,
Mhm.
the other day, so she couldn't be here tonight, so, but, okay.
Have
All
you
right.
looked into elder services at all? To talk to them? Do you know what elder services?
Yeah, she was just saying that
Oh, yeah.
they-
Oh.
they're
Yeah,
they're already
yeah,
starting the process.
Yeah,
They're
Oh,
they're
you're
looking
gonna
into-
look
they're
into
looking
into
into
the,
it, so.
into it, yeah, yep.
Yeah, I
So-
think it might help.
Okay, well,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close the hearing?
Do you have a second? How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Can I
Yeah,
just
close.
jump back on agenda 6 real quick?
Yeah, that's where we're heading to now anyways.
Okay. I think she actually already talked about the solid waste committee with the Casella submission.
That was a different thing, yeah. That
Right, but under the heading of solid waste, 2 cases that the solid waste committee should be aware of, and as far as big toter, small toter, Worcester does a fee for service by the bag. On a rare, I mean, again, our hands are tied tonight.
Mhm.
2 elderly taxpayers that are generating less than a bag a week,
Yeah. Yeah, I
Do
think
you go
we-
to the meetings?
I do,
Great.
yeah.
You can bring these cases up, and I don't know
Absolutely.
if the committee has looked at
Yeah.
the fee-for-service bag on limited situations, but,
Yeah,
The,
it's,
go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, there's so many different variables out there, but
Right.
I think, yeah, there is something maybe we can look into it. I mean, they got a lot on their plate anyways with everything else that's going on, but
Right.
I think that's something you can bring them to them and say, hey, by the way, this is what we had,
Sure.
and see what they're feeling of it, because they set the regulations and
Right.
we hold everybody to them.
Right.
For families like this that are generating small quantity, I
Mhm.
certainly don't want to give it out carte blanche,
No, exactly.
but,
You'll see if there's something we can do.
yeah.
You had a pay-as-you-throw option,
Right,
Yeah.
the city of
Yeah.
Worcester does it,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
we have the overflow bags,
Mhm.
so it's not even anything they have to
right?
create, it's already there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For me, I know we don't put our rubbish out every week because we don't have enough to put out.
Yeah, so it happens.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Are you here for for one part of the meeting, or?
Yeah, the 99 restaurant. Is it a liquor license, something, because our,
Oh, you're next door.
You're,
oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're in the next
I don't
room
know,
over.
I-
Yeah.
yep, so just take a
Okay.
left and.
And
go
go. Yeah,
into
you're in the
big
next.
room.
Sorry about that.
All right.
Sorry, I was in there for like a half hour.
Yeah, I didn't know she was
They
here.
may have already called her.
Yeah, oh, I don't know.
She's.
Yeah, make sure they know that
All right.
she was in here.
Well, nobody knows. Yeah. All right. So, section B. This should be pretty quick. It's inspection stuff and communicable disease and all that stuff.
Yes, so inspections, Eileen is off today.
Mhm.
I wanted to bring bring a couple of updates to you from the last meeting. Last meeting, we had several discussions about frozen dessert testing. Since that meeting, we've had hold things under control, and we've had passing results from all of our establishments, so no problems with that. So we have that under control. And then we also had a discussion regarding Jack's Variety with the board had come up with a approved the proposal that was before you for using a satellite licensed food establishment. So that, I just wanted to give you an update. We have not approved that operation as of right now. We kind of went back and forth. The board gave us the grace to be able to work with the owner to come up with a written agreement. We had just some things that didn't have everything that was included in the agreement, so Eileen put together basically a written memorandum of understanding agreement. So that has been given to Mr. Armstrong, the owner of Jack's Variety, and so we're waiting to basically hear back as to when he's ready to move forward. He was coordinating some of the equipment and plumbing and so forth. So he has things going on that he's working with his professionals, but I'll keep you abreast of anything that changes on that. But Eileen worked hard to kind of get something written in place that the board would feel comfortable with, you know, meeting the code and also being flexible enough to say this is kind of a proposal, you know, this is a trial error, so we have that. I know she has been busy working with several establishments and re-inspections, and she also assisted on the town camp inspection with me, and we were able to get that done. So we have those in place. The next big temporary event we have coming up is going to be the Relay for Life. That's actually going to be the first, I think it's the first weekend
4th and 5th of September.
Yeah, first weekend in September. So that's going to be down at Lemansky. And so she has been working closely with the coordinators for the food program. We actually have, I want to say, at least 6 to 8 food vendors for that. We also have a survivors dinner. That's typically kind of a big kickoff dinner, the first night of the event. So there's, believe it or not, we're coming down to the wire on that. So I know she's working closely to get those menus finalized and all of the food verified as to where it's coming. So we'll be able to give you an update on that at the next meeting, you know, as to where we are with that. But she's been working closely on that. The communicable disease report we did receive from Cheryl, and we do have that for the board's review.
Looks good this week.
Oh,
No comment.
thank you very much.
Yep.
And I think that's all.
Okay. Under new establishments, is that a new car dealership going on Route 20?
Prospect?
No,
No. What is? Oh, it's
it's a
not.
parking lot.
What's the address, sir?
It's just a parking lot.
It's overflow parking.
That's all it is.
Wow.
Okay. That's huge
That's
for all
a
that
lot
work
of
for.
dirt.
Well, 'cause I was gonna say if it was gonna be a car dealership.
From what I am
wanted to make sure.
told,
The address.
It's across from Chuck's Steakhouse, the big hill on
Prospect
the corner of
Street.
Prospect
Oh,
and
oh,
20.
oh.
believe that's
Okay.
the Toyota
The big
That's
wall.
overflow.
So that,
Okay. Because I was gonna say if it was gonna be a new building, I wanted to make sure if they put any kind of coffee, we made sure they had a 3-bay or something
I
like
will
that. That's
clarify
all.
that for you.
Okay.
I,
All right.
we'll-
So if
yeah.
that's no worries. If that's all that is.
No
That's not a big
structures
deal.
planned for that.
Yeah,
So,
we'll find out, we'll get an update for you.
Okay.
Next
Do I have a
meeting-
motion?
Next meeting,
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, they're already scheduled. Next meeting, August 25th at 6 o'clock. It's Monday night, 2 weeks from tonight.
you don't want to set September's.
September's our 8th and the 22nd as scheduled. I leave them as scheduled until we
Alright.
have, unless someone has a problem.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Do we have a motion to close?
Can I make that motion?
Do we have? Hey, she made a motion.
Wow. Second.
Okay. Have a good night.